people coming home from work, and a whole lot more heading out to cottage country. So I'm trying a new experiment. I'm riding on the gravel. So there's this tiny shoulder, right? Like, I would like to ride on that shoulder, but it's scared the living hell out of me. You got like double lanes of traffic, right? And some of those are big RVs swaying in the wind. They go outside the lines. Those RVs will swing. The RVs will swing right into this little shoulder. But this. So Friday night, 5:40 p.m. Just having a peek at the highway that I'm avoiding because I'm not going on this highway. I came up this gravel road. I'm carrying on the gravel road. This beach is a tiny little dune. The other one has a big monster dune. But still, the difference is astounding between back here and actually on the water. You'll see here, this wind is just blowing right in here. It is chilly. But I'm wearing Nordic trail running shoes, mountain climbing pants, mountain climbing jacket. So usually what I do is go right in the parking lot there, find a tree, sit out here, but it's pretty cold. So I'm gonna hang out back here for a while. The primus stove. You can turn this all the way down. I remember trying to cook on a Coleman stove. It's pretty difficult. It's generally too hot. You can see the orange sun peeking through right there. Okay, so we've got this little group of trees. The road is right here. This thing is simple elegance. So I already had one mosquito buzzing around me. I'm not bothering with an outer net. That is for when I'm hanging out all day, basically, kind of thing. Or if it's really bad mosquitoes. If you don't want this closed, you can leave one side. You can just flip it back over the ridge line. I can actually do the same with the outer net. Just flip it over. So, see the Summit, Light XT insulated. It's not the warmest mattress, but it seems to be pretty durable. The Thermarest Ohm was carefully picked out of the myriad things because it's not like the others. It's not a mummy bag. It is tapered. It tapers down here, but it's super wide at this end. It is a barrel bag. There's no hood. So it's going down to 8. If it gets cold, it zips up like a sleeping bag. How I've been using it so far though this year, mostly, is I flip it this way. I leave a little bit zipped up. Actually, what I can do, there's a loop here. There's a loop on the end. I can actually hang this up here with the carabiner. That makes it stay down at my feet. And then it's a quilt. It's a quilt. But if it gets cold, it's a sleeping bag. The Monster Seat to Summit pillow, Aeros Ultralight Deluxe. I mean, this is absolutely huge. It's the width of a wide mattress. I don't know who would use that as a pillow. I don't use it as a pillow. I use it as a backrest. I also use it to sit on. This is my pillow. Gosh, it's been used 300 times. Tiny Spider has captured 500 times its weight in food. These are fish flies caught in his web. His web goes up here. There's more web. Oh, it's gonna be hungry anytime soon. This water goes to the ocean, which is pretty interesting when you're sort of in the middle of the continent. Oh man, this is cool. So up here, there's Luna. Three of them moved. There's one sticking out. Ooh, this animal is injured. Can't run like the other ones. He's limping. Figure this out. The prevailing kind of wind comes from the north, which is over that sand dune. And in the morning, it's incredibly cold over there. And in the morning, the sun's coming up over here. So over here, it's a hell of a lot warmer. gulls hang out with geese every day. All the time. I mean, we do have white caps. Come around this corner. It's windy right here. But it's not so windy. It's making it cold. There's no malaria here, but those mosquitoes will drive you insane and make you very itchy. And the black flies hurt. So, here I've got half of a so-called pole mod. So this sleeve contains a pole. This pole is a square, rectangle. This pole leans on the ridge line. It's just sitting there. This is attached right here. It just sits there. It spreads this net out. I still have guy lines on here right now, but I won't actually need them. What I can do instead is run a guy line from this corner down to the hammock inside there. That eliminates this tree, and that tree, and this tree, and that stick. So on this side, I don't have the pole sleeve yet. I did that one last week. Do this one now. So, again, guy line. This is going up here to an S-greener, to a Luxe. Over here, there was no tree. So this stick is being held up down there. So, as soon as I get this other sleeve on here, I'm back down to 2 trees. And this thing will stay open. Same time, this skirt is pockets. It could be sand. It could be a piece of wood, rocks, bottles, whatever I want to do. The sand works really good here, obviously, but it's a little messy. You get inside here, this net zips around here. But I mean, I need to be able to sit down, like, not just lie down, sit down. So this side of the net has a pole in it. You can see when I swing, this pole, you see this pole teetering straight back and forth. Well, on this side, there's no pole yet. And how crazy is this? These little flies are driving me nuts. So I have to be outside the net to sew that. And when I'm out there, they're literally on my skin at least every 15 seconds. Okay. A net pole mod pole slide through here is done on both sides. Now, this guy line, if I just hook that, it fell down a little bit. This is gonna end up connecting to that corner. So the pole rests on this tight ridge line. This is hooked right on like elastic on the end of the hammock. And the poles, looks like they could just hang this way. Maybe I don't even need anything else. But if I wanted to make sure it stays straight, 2 equal length pieces of string from the corners down to this corner of the hammock work. I tested it last year. Perfect. So I have a skirt on the bottom. Even if I'm not really sort of using it, it weighs it down. So it holds this net down. So like a light breeze isn't gonna move this thing. Heavy breeze or whatever, you fill these pockets with sand. If I put a zipper in this corner, fill those with sand, it is literally a screen veranda with a door. The Chateau Grand Continental breakfast includes cereal and milk, eggs and cheese, pancakes and syrup, and fresh brewed coffee. The evolution of C2 Summit box nut. In the beginning, there were 4 trees. That's what it was made for. 4 corners, 4 trees. You pop this up. Nice space. 4 trees, not always easy to find. You get away with 3. You can use a stick. You could use poles, I suppose. After insects crawled out of the ground and bit me sleeping, I sewed a floor onto it, but then it becomes a tent, and I'm worried about the ground, which I don't want to worry about. In most tents, you're basically shut out from what's around you. That is not something I like unless it's a matter of just staying warm. And even then, I certainly want ability to quickly see what's going on without like putting boots on and, you know, stepping outside. So this is looking really good. So right now, there's nothing holding this up. The hammock holds it up. So, these strings on the corners, just on that side, prevent this from falling downward. And I still have this set up. This can wrap around the tree. That's a tensioner. So if I do have trees, I can also anchor this. I have the sleeves. I can put bottles, rocks, logs, sand underneath there. I can put my stuff in there. I probably won't, but because it all stays in dry bags. Looks good. A fat black object contrasts really well on this light colored gravel. That was a bear. This was a big bear. To be honest, this is a bit scary. I marked my position. Like I walked out onto the beach, I marked my position, and I found a couple of what I would call waypoints, known objects I can refer to, I can see, refer to. And then I walked to the end of the beach, came back, didn't find them. So the sunlight is pretty much gone. And this little orange moon is not a lot, which had me thinking as I was walking down here. If it was just a little more darker, I couldn't even find anything on this side. Okay, 188 kilometers in. This kilometer says 13.8. So last night, this big monster bear is walking towards me on the road like this. There's nowhere I can go. Like, it's even worse than this. It's marsh, right? So, or like pretty much like this, right? I can't get off the road. So this bear is coming, walking straight towards me. I'm having a little panic moment, right? Like, what's it gonna do? So the flashing of my light signaled the bear, and he did walk into the wetland. But I have a feeling if that was a grizzly bear, those bears don't stop. If that was a grizzly bear, it would have just kept walking. They're not afraid of us at all. Here's a rare kind of a view of the wheat field. They're not usually so close to the road like this. Like, it's right here is the wheat. Cool. Down over there you can see the road. And this is a tiny little patch compared to a lot of them. But it's a golden... It's a golden patch of wheat. So here's another Poplar Point Church. St. James Anglican. Now this says Diocese of Rupert's Land. I am a member of the Association of Rupert's Land. We are descendants. Rupert's Land was land granted by Hudson's Bay Company to Scottish settlers. That's a pretty cool spot like that. Devil's Creek. There's a little lookout here. The Great Trail. I was on the Great Trail at Grand Marais. So these trips are 100 kilometers in each direction. At least 200, but I'm doing closer to 300. And this is halfway home. I want known spots where I can stop and do things like get out of the rain. Now, here, it's just a great trail. Step down in here. At least right now, it's not wet. You do it right here. Look at this one. There are flowers. A whole field of tiny flowers. And here's one that is not opened yet. A bunch of them have not opened yet.